Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, and welcome to From Vision to Framework. Build a brand that works without you. My name is Colin Mahan, and I'm a director of high growth impact entrepreneurs and head of sponsorships at the Nasdaq Entrepreneurial Center. And for those of you who may not know, the Nasdaq Center is a nonprofit improving access and knowledge and entrepreneurship to advance economic progress for all. Now you're going to see in the chat in just a moment. The Nasdaq Center provides programs, resources, and exceptional mentorship to help entrepreneurs fuel prosperity, no matter where their journey begins. Be sure to check out those links and resources shared in the chat. Now we're going to launch a few polls to take a temperature gauge on how everyone is doing today. The first one, how are you feeling about your business? Are you optimistic? Let us know. We use all of these polls and information to provide this global community more support in each of these categories. So thank you in advance for voting. Also, if there are any specific topics or challenges you'd like us to create resources for, feel free to share them in the chat. We'll get right to it. Now, a couple of more things before we get started. First, if comfortable, let us know where you're dialing in from by dropping it into the chat. Love to see where everyone's joining us from today. Also, we're going to have live Q&A for our speaker near the end of this session, so put those questions in the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen throughout the discussion, and we'll get to as many of them as we can at the end. All right, let's see where people are coming from. Looks like New Jersey, Ohio, DC North, New Jersey, Florida, DC, LA. Pretty good mix, y'all. Florida, North Carolina, Tennessee, Chicago. Ooh, we have some people who are experiencing actual winter, sunny California, Maryland, DC. Awesome. Thank you for vote. Thank you for letting us know where you're coming in from. Looks like Detroit. All right, awesome. Welcome, everybody. And it looks like this final poll, which is what's keeping you up at night, which will fuel the upcoming months of programming, is looking like finance is at the top of the key. But as you're answering that final poll, I'd like to take a moment to recognize the incredible support of our corporate partners. What we do at the center wouldn't be possible without all the generosity and belief of our partners and funders, including Nasdaq, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan Chase, KPMG, Walmart, the Asia Innovation Hub, Wilson Sonsini, the REIT Foundation, the Global Innovation Institute, KKR, and BPM. We're deeply grateful for their partnership and hope you'll join us in sharing that appreciation too. All right, well, everyone's got their hands warmed up in the chat. Thanks for letting us know where you're dialing in from. So without any further delay, type in the chat, welcome to our special guest today. Dr. Anesha Fuller is the founder and CEO of Preeminence Professional Consulting Agency. She's a Milestone Circles graduate and also a mentor at the center. Dr. Fuller, welcome.
Welcome. Hi, everyone. Hi, I'm so excited to be here. So excited to get ready to deliver some exclusive and very informative knowledge for you guys because we're all about helping entrepreneurs grow at the Nasdaq Entrepreneurial Center.
Awesome. So, over to you, Dr. Fuller. Thank you very much.
All right, so just waiting to get my slide up here. All right, so today, our topic is going to be from vision to framework, build a brand that works without you. And it's your master trainer, Dr. Anesha Fuller, founder and CEO of Preeminence Professional Consulting Agency. So I have something called Let's Build the Momentum. So I want you guys to drop in the chat for me, vision to framework, because that is what we're going to be learning about today. So let me see some of you guys drop vision to framework in the chat for me. Vision to framework, because that is what we're going to be doing today. Vision to framework. Yes, I love it. I love the momentum. Vision to framework. Vision to framework. That's what we're going to get on it. Next slide for me. Now, my welcome address. Who am I? I'm Dr. Anesha Fuller. I earned 4 degrees. I graduated debt-free. I'm the founder of Preeminence Professional Consulting Agency, LLC, the owner of Signature Doc Notary and Professional Services, the owner of the Picture Doc Photography and Retouching. I'm a real estate investor, Airbnb host, two-time nonprofit owner and leader, No Rest in Success Foundation, and the Mended Vessel Outreach, a professor, a speaker, and an author. And a fun fact about me is that my adopted mom put me to work at 14. Yeah, early child labor, guys. I was running my mom's office by 16 and 17, and it turned me into a savage with business. And I learned how to run a brick and mortar business, and now I'm mastering running virtual business. So I have a motto, and my motto is, if there's a lane, I build in it. So that's just to let you know a little background information on me. Next slide. So I kind of want to know where everybody is right now in their business. So we have the founder dependency test, the where are you? So I want you to look at these different choices that we have. A, if you're drowning, you're the CEO, bookkeeper, marketer, and customer service. You're everything. You're doing everything. You're the Instagram person, you're the accountant, you're everything. Or you're B, you're inconsistent. Some days your marketing look professional, the other days they look rushed. We all know what that means. Spelling errors inside of your caption. You're not being consistent. C, you're trapped. You want to hire help, but don't have systems to train anyone. You've hit a ceiling income in your ceiling because there's only one of you. So I want to see what it is. Oh my God, I see in the chat, I see some A's. I see a lot of A's. I see A and C. I see inconsistent. Okay, I want to see some more. Some more people drop something for me in the chat. We see a lot of A and B. I'm seeing a lot of A's. A lot of people right now are feeling like they are drowning. So let me ask you guys a question. I want you to drop it in the chat for me. Which role do you secretly resent having to play in your business? Which role do you not like doing? Because I'm going to be honest with me, I hate to do the social media marketing. I just feel like it just takes too long. I see somebody put a content. I think we're all screaming right now. Content, yes, social media. It takes you like 20, 30 minutes just to get a post up. Oh my God, everybody's dropping content. Yes, I agree with you all. Definitely content. Definitely content creation. Some people say marketing. All right, we all got a niche. We're all friends here. We're all twins. All right, next slide first. Now, I'm going to get you guys on the transformation path. So we want to be able to move from chaos to clarity by building a solid vision, impactful framework, and working systems. So let's unpack how do you do that. So you guys all mentioned with me in the last slide what your problems were. Some of you felt that you were drowning. Some of you felt that you were inconsistent. Some of you felt that you were trapped. And some of you felt that you were a mixture of all three or two. Now, what you need to do, you need to move from the problems now and get to the solid vision. You need to have a clear direction and a purpose. You also need to have impactful framework, structured growth, and freedom. And lastly, you need systems. Business runs without you. So when you have all of these different, you're in these different stages to go from chaos to clarity to framework to systems. So I want you guys to do something for me right now. Drop in the chat. What stage do you need most? Do you need a solid vision, impactful framework, or systems? Drop something for me in the chat. Let's get to the bottom of this today. What do you need? Systems. I'm seeing systems. Wow, systems. Somebody said vision. Systems for sure. Framework and visions. Okay. So we're identifying what stage are we not at. Systems like yesterday. I'm cracking up, Alex. Definitely. So I see it's a systems problems. Oh, I like that quote you dropped in the chat. You do not rise to the level of your goals if you fail to the level of your systems. I like it. Yes, yes. So we all identifying that we do need systems. Next slide for me. Now, our business vision, the guiding star. So you need to have a very, very clear business vision. And there are four major components of having a clear business vision. So the first one is your mission. And your mission is your operational purpose. So it's what we do and who we serve. So I tell people all the time, you can't serve everybody. That's just not practical. You got to have a niche. And you got to be able to identify that niche, because then that will be able to later on help you know where you go to look for your customers. You also need to have goals. You can't be just in a business just to be in a business. Like, what are your goals? Do you eventually want to turn this business into a 6-figure, 7-figure business? Do you want to sell it to a business where you eventually scale it to sell it to someone else, franchise? Like, what are measurable goals? What is your aim? You got to have an aim for your business. Values. Your values basically help you to come with your guiding principles in your culture. What is your why, and do you stand on that why in your business? It also helps for you to also give your decision filter. It helps you to understand like why you're doing something or why is this transpiring in your business. The last one is brand identity, how we present and differentiate. So what is so unique about you? I say this to say this all the time when I tell people, when I go in spaces or places and network with people. If you're going to say you're a business coach or you're an entrepreneur, whatever you may be selling, why am I going to choose your brand over 10 other brands? What makes you unique? Because right now we live in a society where everyone thinks AI is just going to run their business for them. But if everybody's using this generic thing to run their business for them, what makes you so different? If both of you guys are giving out the same information, you got to have an it factor. So your brand has to have a very strong identity. Now, I want everyone to do me this one favor. Drop in the chat your mission in one sentence. I want to see if you guys are ready. If I was to walk up to you right now and say, I'm going to invest 1 million in your business, if you tell me your mission statement, tell me what it is for your business. Drop some of that in the chat so I can see. Drop some of that in the chat so I can see. Because you gotta know your mission. You gotta know your mission. Let's see if we have anybody. One sentence. One sentence. Let's see some of that in the chat. Okay, Yvette's coming on strong. She's the first one. Building high performance coaches through talent development and exclusive excellence. I love it. Non-toxic plushies with purpose. Love it. Empowering high performance breast cancer survivors to live inspired free. Love it. I love it. I love it. We save the families of general contractors. Create self-care experiences. You gotta have what you do and who you serve. You gotta be able to drop that. Okay, I'm looking at these missions. Remember, what do we do and who do we serve? Come on, I want to see some more. Empowering older adults to age healthy. Okay, to be the premier but fun solution to your travel insurance worries. Good. I'm loving them how you're dropping them in the chat. And we also got to remember too, we got to cultivate our mission statement. When we drop our mission statement, we got to be like, whoa, I need to get with that company or that brand, because that mission statement it hits me. It's dealing with my emotions. It's making me like, wow. Okay, I'm loving them. Now, next thing I want you guys to do, drop one value your brand will never compromise to. You got your mission statement. Now, what are your values? Drop one of your values. Okay, I'm seeing it. Authenticity, equity, trust, inclusivity, honesty, mutual respect, authenticity. I love it. Community, wellness. I love it. Because you got to know your core values. Because your core values, you have to stand on your core values. When people get your product, get your service, they can say, you know what? That coach was really transparent with me. I like how she was relatable. Authentic. People are inspired by it. Integrity and alignment. I love that. I'm an alignment person, Danielle. I love that. You definitely have to have some sort of value for your business. Next slide for us. Now, I want you guys to pay very close attention to what you're seeing up here. How to turn your vision into a framework. So you see how we move from identifying our problem, moving to how your business needs a clear vision with the 4 things that we implemented. Now we're moving. I want you to see how we transition. We have the vision now. Now we're going to move it into framework. How do we do that? We know what a mission. So for example, vision. Vision helps owners build confidence. So if you say that's your vision, then you know the next steps is to write a mission in one sentence, list 3 daily actions, then 3, create project checklists. The next thing will be goals. You know you have goals, right? So your vision is to grow without burnout. The next steps should be for those goals is to set 3 goals for 90 days, break it into weekly steps, and weekly progress review. This helps you. This basically helps you with what you are trying to do. The next thing is brand identity. The vision, professional and approachable. Your next steps need to be pick colors and fonts, create templates, and build brand guides. So, what's going to make you stand out with your brand identity? And let me tell you a little something about this, right? You got to be cognizant of, we live in a society where everything's perception. So if I go on your Instagram, your LinkedIn, your Facebook, it got to match your website. You have some people that have awesome things on their Instagram. Then when I go on the website is not functioning properly, it's disorganized. It's like, you got to make it make sense for me. And I say this to say this too. If people go on anything that you have, it got to match up. It needs to be a consistent flow of everything. It needs to be like, you can't be telling me that your mission is to uplift women, and then I get on your website and I'm depressed by what I see on your website. Or I go on your Instagram and you're putting out nothing but depressing content. Like, no, it has to match. You got to make sure. No, Amelia, you're laughing. I'm serious, girl. Come on. You can't be telling me, oh, I'm going to help you make $1 million and you don't look like $1 million. Your website don't look like $1 million. Come on. You gotta make it make sense with your brand. You gotta make it make sense. So you want to make sure that your brand identity is up to par. Next slide. So let's keep on going with me, guys, here, because I want you to keep up with me. We're now moving from, we know our framework. We know what we have to do. We saw what we had to do for our mission. We saw what we had to do with our goals. We saw what we had to do with the brand identity. Now, we're going to take that now and move those frameworks to systems. Pay attention to how we're doing it here. Column 1, mission framework onboarding system. So we know that from the vision earlier, you have to have your vision. You have to be able to have a clear vision for your business. You know that now when you have this clear vision, how are you going to turn that into an onboarding system for people who are going to come work for you? So everybody knows when they go to certain brands, what kind of vision they have for their brands. So let's say, for example, any makeup girlies on here, anybody that does makeup, when you go to MAC, the vision that they have for MAC. They know how they want their makeup artist to look. You got to look spunky. You got to look nice. Your face got to be beat. Like, their mission. You got to make women want to look how you look. So with your brand too as well, you got to have some sort of onboarding system that helps others who you're bringing on board to understand your system. So what that would look like now, from moving it from framework to system, it would look like new hiring talents included in the mission statement. They know what it is about. You have first weekly checklist reinforcing 3 daily actions, and then you have a 30-day review using missions as success measures. So you're going to create an onboarding system that allows for your employee, whoever you have coming on, they know your mission. 2, goals framework, content system. Your goal is to grow without burnout. So that turns into a content system. So you get a content calendar aligned to 90 days goals. So this results with a lot of us that on here said, if you go back to the beginning with the founder dependency test, a lot of people said they had a content problem. So for us content problem people, we need a content system. I had a mentor tell to me one time, you cannot be on every platform. You need to be picking at least 1 or 2 platforms that you can dominate, and you need to be working those platforms depending on where your clientele is at. So you need to have a content calendar aligned to your 90-day goals. You need to have weekly content batching sessions and monthly content review tied to goal progress. If you're pumping out so much on TikTok, is that converted into sales? If not, you need to get off TikTok and take it on Instagram and then see, okay, if this monthly content converts it into clientele sales, whatever it may be that you are servicing or whatever product that you're selling. Column 3, brand identity framework turns into a sales system. Your brand, professional and approachable, it becomes a sales system. You have proposal templates, use brand colors, fonts, sales scripts reflect brand voice, follow-up emails match the brand tone. So you're seeing how with each one of the mission frameworks, they turn into a system. Mission framework 1 turns into an onboarding system. Goals framework turns into a content system. Brand identity framework turns into a sales system. Drop in the chat, yes, if you understand how we move from framework to systems. Drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat. Come on, guys. We got to get engaged. We got to get on it. That's how your business is going to go. Yes. So you're seeing how we're moving from framework to a system. Yes. Nikisha, this is what I do, girl. 20 years in the business. Come on. Now, we got to make sure. We got to make sure. Now, I want to ask you guys a question. What are you seeing happen now with our framework? How is everything shifting? Somebody drop that for me in the chat. What are you seeing happen now with our framework? How is everything shifting now? Organizing the line. It's shifting to systems. Yes, I love that. Lori, you said you understand somewhat. What are you not understanding? I leave nobody behind in my learning sessions. What are you not understanding? Drop that in the chat so I can clarify it for you. Yes, I love it. It flows, just got it clearer and simpler. Yes, good. Pacific, yes. Organized, yes. You're realizing now that we're getting from that. Sharon says column 2 and 3 doesn't make sense to you. Okay, so just to go back and explain to it, I'm showing you how you go from before you had a goal framework. So let's say you have 3 goals for your business, and it's to grow without burnout. So you're going to turn now to having a content system, having your content, you get a virtual assistant or you get some type of content system where you're going to be posting a certain amount of content for 90 days. Is that helping you understand better? We're showing you how you turn the framework to a system. Just like brand identity. If your brand doesn't have an identity, it's not professional and approachable, how can you sell a product? I hope that helped you understand a little bit more. But we could get more depth into that in another time. But I want to clarify that. Oh, column 2 to 3. Okay, yeah. Basically, we're just listing out the frameworks and showing you how you could turn them into systems. Now, somebody tell me, what's one system you need right now? What is one system you need right now? Yes, I love it. Sales and funnel. Somebody said I don't need another system. I'm with Donnie Money. I think I can't. Mission framework. Okay. Sales funnel. Money, money, money. I know. That's the money. Sales for sure. Marketing, content, creating hands to help do it. KIP. Yes. Okay. Got it. Money, sales. Excellent. All right. So I'm seeing some of what you guys are dropping in the chat. Resources. Okay. Resources. All right. More sales. Yes. more sales. All right. All right. So we kind of have a thing. A lot of people are saying funding. All right. Can we move on to the next line now? Now, why build a brand that works without you? So when you follow these steps, turning your vision into framework and framework into systems, you're doing something powerful. You're taking what's in your head and putting it into a form others can follow. Somebody put yes, you don't have to be present to win. Yes. So if we go back to number one, your vision becomes shareable. So when your vision becomes shareable, you don't have to keep repeating yourself. People don't have to try to figure out what you're doing. If you're hiring somebody to come on board, they already know because they know what your vision is. So instead of being the only one who gets it, everyone on your team understands what you're building and why it matters. So if we go all the way back to the beginning, you got to have a clear business vision. If you have a clear business vision, everyone understands what you are building and why it matters. No one's confused. They know automatically that this is her vision for her business. This is her mission. This is why they're here. This is their why. And we just have to continue to figure out our how. So that's our step number one. Now, if we go into step number two, your standards become repeatable. Your framework gives people the exact steps to follow. They don't have to guess what you want. They know. So when you have your frameworks, nobody is trying to figure out like what is going on over here. They automatically know because you already have it in play. You have it written. It's visible. It's something that they can go by. It's basically like a guide. Now, three, your system runs themselves. When your frameworks are built into systems, onboarding, content, sales, the work happens consistently whether you're there or not. So if you go ahead and make your framework for your content and you turn it into a content system when you're knowing it, you set your content up however you may be, if you have a virtual assistant or you set your, now with how things are done, you're able to set your content where you pre-plan it for days in ahead. You know you have your system. You know that you have where you're gonna be, what you're gonna be presenting, when it's gonna be presented, how it's gonna be presented. You don't have to keep going back every day and doing the same thing. So the result, your business can grow, serve customers, and maintain quality without you answering every question, approving every decision, or working every hour. That's a brand that works without you. So I want to ask you guys a question. Do you see how you are not doing the work anymore? Somebody answer that for me in the chat. Do you see how you're not doing the work anymore? Yes, I see a lot of yeses in the chat. Yes, I'm in deep every day. Oh, don't worry, Lori. We're gonna get it right. We've all been there before. Yes, I'm loving it. So we see it. You see how you're not doing the work anymore. It's basically you got to set it up, and once you set it up, it runs for itself. Now, I want you to drop a yes in the chat if you want a business that runs without burnout. Drop a yes in the chat if you want a business that runs without burnout. Come on, I got to see everybody. Atia said, yeah, hell yeah, of course, absolutely. Okay, now, type scale in the chat if you are ready to stop being the bottleneck. Scale. Yes, I love it. I love it. I like how we're running it up in the chat. I love it. I love the picture of the scale. That's right, scale. I love it. I love it. Awesome. All right. Next slide for me. Now we come to the end of my presentation. I'm gonna miss you guys. You guys are awesome. Now let's keep building together. If you want to connect with me, they have, can somebody drop it for us in the chat? They have ways for you to connect with me. I just want to say to all of you guys, the first part of solving a problem is identifying it. And I like the steps that we took to identify what was wrong with your business, how you want to move from the vision to the framework to the systems, and it can be done. Everything is a process. I say this to say this to you too. I know what it's like to run a brick and mortar. I know what it's like to run an online virtual business. Everything is a process. And once you put systems into play, it makes the process run smoothly. So I want all of you guys to move from that vision to that framework to that system where you're not feeling burnt out, because I have experienced that before as an entrepreneur, trying to wear many hats, and it's not easy. So we want to move from vision to framework. Yes, they dropped it in the chat how you connect with me. Thank you. I loved you guys too. Somebody said I enjoyed the webinar too. We're gonna get some Q&A too.
Yep. Thank you, Dr. Fuller. A lot of information there, but all good stuff. And as you can see in the chat, everyone's super active. So if you haven't dropped your question for Dr. Fuller in the chat yet, do so, and we'll get to as many as we can.
Where do I see the Q&A? They have them right here.
Yep. It's empty right now, but people are thinking. I have some pre-submitted questions, though, that we'll just start with Dr. Fuller, and then I'll keep an eye out on the other live Q&As.
Okay. I'm going to try to get to everybody's question.
All right. So, how do you evaluate what you think your brand is now?
Somebody asked, how do you evaluate how you think your brand is now? So for that question, I will really tell you, like, it all goes back to your mission statement. Do you have a mission statement? Are you actively addressing what your brand claims to be? That should be able to tell you alone. Like if you said, for some people, where they said their values are to provide authenticity, alignment, if that's showing up in your brand, then you automatically know that, I'm not measuring up to what I say I'm giving to individuals.
Awesome. Let's see, this one's a little long, but you got this. I think I know how to build a brand. I believe it's consistently post product yourself in front of people, such as social media, public events, speakers, or panels, and it requires motivation to do it consistently. I felt my motivation on that is a bit lacking, but want to build up my brand. Do you have any suggestions on finding this motivation to keep up the energy?
Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys a little something about me, something that I'm like and what I do. I'm a type of person, I like to envision myself to the end goal. So you got to ask yourself, what are you in business for? Because a lot of times people don't know what they're in business for. Are you in business because it's a passion project? It's just something you like to do and you want to make a little chump change off of it? Or are you in business because you know that you want to scale your business up to be a 6-figure, a 7-figure, a 9-figure, 8-figure? Or do you want to have a business that allows for you to leave your current job if you're working or whatever the case may be, and it becomes your source of income? That is where you find your motivation. My motivation is I want to be a millionaire, a multi-millionaire. I want to be on a yacht. Like, so I get to it because I know where I want to be. I want a G-Wagon, guys. So that gives you your motivation to know your why. You know you want to live good. You know you want certain things. Somebody said period, correct. That's your goal. You know that you gotta get up and go. You gotta find that motivation. You gotta have an end goal. Get a picture of where you want to see yourself at, and keep that in your cell phone. Keep it on your desk. Keep it wherever you work. You know what? This is why I'm working hard. this is why I need this motivation.
Great advice. Okay, let's see. My agency has been in business coming up on 12 years. I have been the face, but as I scale and grow, I can't always be the face. How do I make people realize this is okay and I'll continue to be there even if the work is done by my team?
Okay, that's an easy question to answer because I have a photography business and I started my business when I was about in my sophomore year in college. So, what was so unique about my photography business was that I was a girl taking pictures, like a female out there in the urban scene. And people never really saw like a girl photographer, especially young. So, people got so accustomed to me, they got accustomed to my bubbly personality, they just got accustomed to my, how I am. And that I started to get so crazy booked, I couldn't be everywhere. So then I had to start to have subcontractors work under me. And one of the things that I started to do to help people get comfortable with a subcontractor, I started to show my guys my vision for how I wanted my photography to look. How, when you do events for me, this is how it should look. So I show them galleries. Look at how I start. Look how I did this. Look how I do that. Now, when I send you out, I need you to produce the same thing. They know how to be friendly to the clientele. They know how to move around, get everything. And then from there, I'm able to show people I might not be able to show up to your event, but here is my worker, and this is what he does. So you need to possibly have samples of what your team does so that people can see that it's going to be the same thing no matter who comes, no matter who shows up, it's still across the board.
Love that. How do you balance branding B2B and B2C? There are different tones needed for each, but how do you maintain consistently on a higher level and unique personality?
Can you repeat that question one more time for me?
How do you balance branding B2B and B2C? There's different tones needed
Um,
for each.
Okay, so how you manage B2B and B2C, you got to have a lot of B2C that you're able to put in a system where you don't have to really be show up all the time. And then when you do your B2B, it's basically where you show up because you know that's the bigger market, that's where the bigger money is.
Love that. Another one here in the Q&A box. How do you scale with government contracting?
I have to give you advice on that one. I would say you can scale with government contracting. A lot of times people come in as a subcontractor. So what you will possibly do is you need to find out who's getting the awards because I know a lot of times when they put out like the contracts and they say who's the winner, check who's the winner, who normally gets awarded that contract, and try to position yourself to be introduced to them and say that you would like to work with them. A lot of times how people break in is through subcontracting, getting aligned with the person who wins the bid, and then eventually they build up their repertoire. Now they're able to get in on their own.
Awesome. There's another one here. How do I better identify organizations that are aligned with my mission statement, and how do I get in front of them?
Repeat that question for me one more time.
How do I better identify organizations that are aligned with my mission, and how do I get in front of them?
Okay, so tip for that. You need to look at who are you servicing. You guys are on LinkedIn. Look on LinkedIn and look up the things that you're servicing. Remember, we live in a time right now where everybody hashtags their keywords that goes with their business. So for me, I do curriculum design, I do training. So my hashtags are around curriculum development, training. So if I go on LinkedIn, I go on Instagram, those come up. The organizations who needs it come up. Then you look for who is in charge. You need to talk to the people who are making the decision, the directors, the HR representatives, the head of the corporation. We live in a time where it's so easy to get access. Click, connect, start to connect with them. One thing that people hate is when as soon as you connect with them, you go in their DM and you start, oh, I'm selling, that's annoying. Start
Mhm.
interacting with the people on their posts. Interact on their posts. Comment. Let them get familiar with you. And then you go into, hey, I would like to connect with you. And people are more willing to connect with people that they engage with on the regular.
Awesome. That's great advice. Okay, so on average, how long does it take for systems to start running your business? What are common pitfalls to avoid?
I would tell you, it was any standard business. They always say it takes 5 years for it to get up and be running, where it's like you're making the substantial revenue back and all of the systems are working. I would say test out a system for 90 days. Test out a system for 90 days. Give it like a month or two. Well, not really a month, 2 to 3 months, because you'll really start to see if a system is working and producing what it has to do. Within the first month, you're getting it up and running. You're seeing how you tweak it. The second month, you see how it flows. And then by the third month, you know, no, this is not good. Let's switch it out.
Awesome. I think these might be in the links, but there was a question that came in from the chat. Where are the ready to use resources, please? I think those are in the links. And then they were looking for the toolkits.
Oh, that's on my site.
Great. Um, let's see. You can already answered this one. Um, how to make your brand stand out before you raise money?
Okay, I need to know, is that a nonprofit or is it a business?
I believe it sounds like raise funds as in a business, not a nonprofit.
I need to know that because that question has multiple answers. So let me answer it. If you're a nonprofit, you definitely need to have some sort of website set up, some sort of um pictures, mission. I have a nonprofit, so I can tell you that. You need to have some sort of thing set up. People are reluctant to give to nonprofits within the first or second year because they don't know if you're trying to bamboozle them for money. You guys should see now. I'm very transparent and real. Um, when I went to the city, actually the Brooklyn's Borough President office, when I first opened my nonprofit, they said, can't really give you that large amount because we need to make sure that you're actually like in for it for the long run. So they said most nonprofits, they ask you to set up your own fundraiser. So I did t-shirts, I did events, I did sales, things to sell to scale our own money and
Mm.
then to basically get us up and running. And then within third, fourth, fifth year, people were willing to give you and fund you because they see you're here for the long run. Because a lot of people start nonprofits and look for funding just for their own purpose.
Love that. What are best practices to bring people on when I don't have very much extra revenue? I've tried interns, project-based pay, and commissions, but can't seem to get traction building a quality team.
I would say definitely if you don't have the resources, you should try to get interns. For the people who are in New York, New Jersey, I'm not sure about the other states, they have summer youth workers. I got a lot out of my summer youth workers for the summers that I had them because I had systems in play. So I know a lot of states have, summer employment and they look for people to take youth workers. And it's not just teenagers. They have up until like 21, 22. You should definitely look into that. And I know a lot of people go into the hiring virtual help,
Yeah.
which is it's regardless with a business, I think people want everything free and don't want to spend. But in order to make money, you have to spend. So you gotta hire a virtual service person if you want that help.
Awesome. For founders in the early stages without consistent revenue yet, what are realistic ways to secure funding or support to build and scale systems, particularly when implementation is the main gap rather than the strategy?
I would say a lot of it when you begin first will definitely have to be your own money, or you can try to take out a very small business loan. I'm not too sure where that question came from. If you're a female entrepreneur, your small businesses, I know right now they have a lot of networks that fund they fund women businesses with small loans to get started. I know that's a really big thing for women entrepreneurs and then also small businesses as well. You can check that out. I also know that a lot of states have small business solution centers that give information on that funding. You should check out the one in your state.
Awesome. All right, this one's a mouthful, but hang with me, Dr. Fuller. How do I find resources that I can use to implement best practices without having to figure it out myself? Example, I hired a bookkeeper that said they can help prepare cash flow reports, cash burn rate, etc. But when I hire them, I have to create my own Excel sheets, create all these reports. And how do I implement these best practices without having to invent them myself each time?
All right, repeat that question because that was a lot for me to unpack.
Totally. I think, I guess overall, how do I find best practices when it comes to with like the CPA, for instance? This person looks like it. You know, where would you go to help people find resources that help them get started on things like finance?
Well, of course, we have here the Nasdaq Center that helps you get started. I was someone who was mentor, and there are awesome mentors in this that help you guide you through where you want to get started. So I tell you to say this: look for what you need. So they have mentors for like whatever you want to do. If you want to learn about startup, whatever it may be, they have those things as well too. You can know. So I like knew what I wanted to come here for. So I knew who I needed to see. So I tell people always have your like why. You just cannot be vague. If you know you need help with branding, come and look for somebody who knows about branding.
Hmm.
Also somebody, yes, somebody who dropped in the team. Yes, awesome.
Thoughts on pitch competitions? Is it good validation for proof of value in the market?
How would I feel about pitch competitions? I never went in one myself, which is so crazy, which I should, but I do hear a lot about them, how they're good, how it gives you, I think with the pitch competition too, it helps you build up your momentum and your elevator pitch too, so that when you do now go into networking places and spaces, you're able to like say your pitch like at the drop of a dime. Because honestly, when you do go out and network, people don't have 5, 10 minutes to stand up there with you when they want to work the whole room. So I need to be able to, when I get in contact with you within that 1 to 2 minutes, I know what you do.
Yeah, I think it's a good exhibition match, but based on what you've been talking about today, Dr. Fuller, there's a lot of foundational stuff that you should get done first. Um, how do I market for a new service while selling digital products at the same time?
They want to know how you do what?
Market a new service while continuing to sell my digital products at the same time.
Well, one way that you can market your new service by selling your digital product at one time, you can use your digital product to be a funnel for your marketing services. So whatever you want to basically market, you can make it into a digital product that leads people to that service.
Awesome. These are all good questions. Keep them coming. Um, um, idea for building systems that surrounds getting sponsored ads using podcasts or magazine. Is there a way to funnel when the magazine is new?
Rephrase that question for me because it's kind of a little vague for me.
Yeah, and maybe they can give me a little bit more color in the Q&A, but any ideas for building systems that surround getting sponsored ads using a podcast or magazine publisher or magazine?
That one is so big. I'm going to try to answer it the best of my knowledge. I would say building a system where you're trying to get sponsors or funding through podcasts. You can possibly have like a, okay, so I'm thinking in my head, get a system where you have a like a chart of how much people you want to hit up that possibly could be funding what you want. And you can invite them on your podcast. Say, hey, would you like coming on my podcast? I could do an interview for you and stream it on YouTube or whatever it may be. And I have X amount of followers, or I'll spread it here and there. And then, you can work it from there. Because with everything with everybody is an even exchange.
Hmm.
How can I help you? But also, how can you help me?
Totally. Um, a lot of questions around talent in this room, so awesome that you're helping people build systems. All right. I use strategic alliances, vendors, and other companies to fulfill the work, but I'm a solo entrepreneur and getting it all done. How do I get over the hump? Because I need help.
They need to get over what particular hump?
I think trying to get it all done.
I would say definitely something for me with getting everything up, you need to like make a schedule. So you cannot do everything all at the same time. So for me, I have a day and time where I get on social media. So schedule out your day. Know that you're gonna hit the media in the morning by 8 a.m. You know, most people are up, most people are traveling to work, they're looking at their phone. Then come back down. I come back on social media in the evening night. People are already home from work, they done settled down with their kids, they got their phone in their hand. And I know I do this particular time. And then during the middle of the day, I know I'm answering emails. You gotta get yourself on a schedule and a system.
Hmm.
And that makes you feel like you're not doing everything all the time.
Love that. That's great advice, just in general as humans.
Listen to me, guys. I'm gonna be transparent with you, right? I come from a Jamaican background. My family is Jamaican, so I grew up in a Jamaican household. We had systems. So like when I came home from school, I knew that I automatically washed my hand, put my book bag down, had my snack, went to homework. Then from there, get ready to go to bed. Get myself. I know Sunday mornings, I take out all my clothes from the week. And that's a system that even now, because I had structure and order, I'm able to have structure and order in my life and my business because I had a routine. So they said something becomes a routine if you keep doing it within, I believe, 30 days. So get yourself on that routine. Make a 30-day calendar of what you're gonna do and stick to it, and then you're gonna understand like it automatically becomes a routine and it's something that sticks with you.
Yeah, that's super good advice. And somebody in the chat says, I'm from Trinidad."
Yes, I see Jamaica. Hi, Lauren.
Um,
Wagwan.
I love that. Okay, so let's see. There's a couple more questions coming in. Um, do you integrate AI into your business? If so, what value have you found?
Oh, well, for me, I use AI mostly for captions for social media. Really just for caption for social media, that kind of stuff if I'm writing an email. But for my business, I'm what sets me apart actually is that everything for me is custom design. So every nobody gets a one size fits all for me. That's my differentiated factor. You get it custom, you get your stuff specially made. It's not going to look like everybody else's. That's my differentiation factor. And you get it live, you get it with me, you get a live person. So I just use AI for basics for like captions or answering an email or following up,
Hmm.
um, or like helping me set up my systems. But everything else for me is custom one-on-one. So that's my differentiating factor.
Yeah, awesome. We'll keep these good questions coming. I have one, Dr. Fuller, based on I'm just synthesizing all these that are coming in. What's a piece of advice that you would give to people who are early stage solo entrepreneur that you wish you knew when you were just getting started?
Perfect. Number one, you gotta narrow down your niche. So that was something that I had to learn with my business too when I first got started. You cannot service everybody and you don't want to service everybody because then you're going to have burnout and then you're not going to know how to identify where is the people that you want to utilize their business. Have your niche. Number two, you are your brand. You are your brand. So when you get with Dr. Fuller, you get on Preeminence Professional Consultant Agency. You get your, I'm my brand. I sell me. When people want to connect with me, they love the energy, they love the vibe, they love everything that I'm giving them. You got to be your brand. You walk and talk your brand. That has to show up on your Instagram. It has to show up on your website. It has to show up on your Facebook. It has to show up everywhere you go. That has to show up. And also, I would say another thing too. Let it show up on all your stuff. Another thing I would say too is that try to get your systems in place. It makes so much stuff easier for you, and you're not all over the place running up and down. I say this to say this too because I like to be completely transparent with people because I feel I have to do right by people. A lot of times when people do not have a clear niche, they don't have a vision, they don't know where they're going with their business, they invest so much money in all these programs that run them around in a circle. So then you done found yourself spending 20, 30, $40,000 on something that you could have possibly Googled because you have no clear direction. You're hiring this coach, but do you know what do you want to get out of this coach? Do you know what you want to get out of going to this program, to this class? You gotta have your question and your why and what do you want to get out of it. That helps solo entrepreneurs. That helps you understand what you need to get for your business to make it run properly.
I love that. Well, Dr. Fuller, we are almost at time, and I was going to ask you for a key takeaway, but I think that was a pretty good one based on everything that you've talked about today. So thank you so much for joining us today, and I'm sure everyone is super grateful for your time. They're saying
Thank
in the
you. I
chat.
enjoyed all of you guys. You guys were awesome. Shout out to everybody from everywhere. Remember, vision to framework. Drop that in the chat. Vision. Vision. Connect with me, guys.
Love it. Vision to framework. Well, what a way to end
Yes,
the
that's
day.
right. Drop it. Vision to framework.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Fuller. And for everyone on, thank you for attending us. Hopefully, this is helpful. We have a bunch of webinars coming up in the next couple of months, so sign up for those. And we look forward to welcoming you all back online soon. Thanks again, Dr. Fuller. Great to see you. Great stuff.
Thank you, guys.